again and welcome to another episode of I Want to Talk About This Album. And today I'm going to talk about one of my really favorite, all-time favorite albums. It's Ratt, Out of the Cellar, and despite it being, as I said, one of my favorite all-time albums, I think it's not even my favorite Ratt album. But as I've talked about many times, timeline is everything, and this really came into my life at the perfect time, which is why I consider it a very top all-time favorite album for me. And the reason I'm talking about it today is twofold. Yes, that means there are two reasons for something. The reasons are twofold. One, hey, today is my birthday. And the reason I'm talking about it today, or the reason why it's on my mind today, is because I got this record originally, Out of the Cellar, on my birthday in 1984. I got it, that one, I've talked about this before. I got Out of the Cellar, Power Slave, and there's a compilation album called Metal for Breakfast, a Canadian compilation metal album. I think Anvil was on there, Lee Aaron, Judas Priest, I think it was The Ripper was on there. It was kind of a strip. Blotto, Metalhead was on there. Very strange compilation, but I got that one. So those three. So that's why. So today for my birthday, Ratt, Out of the Cellar is on my mind. That's the first reason. The second reason is this week the 40th anniversary version of this album came out, of Out of the Cellar. I guess the album came out in, I saw them, and another thing about Ratt, you may know this, Ratt is really one of my top bands ever. God, I love Ratt. I can't explain how much I love Ratt. And so they were the first band I ever saw. The first concert I ever went to was Ozzy, April 25th, 1984 at Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto. And Ratt was opening. It was supposed to be Slade. I've talked about this before. Slade couldn't make it because Noddy Holder had something wrong with his throat. So Ratt stepped in and filled in and did the shows with Ozzy. So Ratt was the first band I ever saw. And I'm sure I mentioned also, I didn't meet Robin Crosby before the show, but I did see him outside. Right around the corner. I remember exactly where it was. That would have been on the, I guess, the southeast corner of Maple Leaf Gardens. We saw a big, and at that point, I think I only knew Round and Round. We saw this big, my friends and I, it was Rod Pittman, Phil Burkett, and Chris Kambakos were my friends that I saw that show. We saw this big, tall guy with blonde hair with a bunch of girls standing around him. And, you know, we noticed that. I think I didn't know what they looked like at that point. And then later when Ratt started playing, we said, hey, that's the guy that we saw outside, and it was Robin Crosby. So I have a real strong attachment to this album. And, oh my God, I feel like, I talked about this when I did Rain and Blood and Master of Puppets and I don't know what else. Sometimes I feel like the albums that I like the most are the most difficult to talk about. I think, what do I say? Do I just say, this song is awesome, this song is great, this song is phenomenal, this song is killer? I don't know what to say, but man, oh man, I really can't stress strongly enough how much I love this album, both musically and in terms of my life. What it kind of was one of the kind of early to mid albums that shaped my musical tastes. And, you know, there's always been, for me, an association with Ratt and Motley Crue because they started around the same time. Shout the Devil 83, Out of the Cellar 84, Theater of Pain and Invasion of Your Privacy 85, Dancing Undercover 86, Girls 87. So they were always alternating, and then they met up equally in the 1 year in 80, what year was it? 85, Invasion and Theater of Pain, and then again in 89 with Dr. Feelgood and Reach for the Sky. And for some reason, Reach for the Sky flopped, and Dr. Feelgood, you know, Motley Crue was already big, but that took them to the next level. I shouldn't talk about Motley Crue too much, but I always will consider Ratt. They were kind of like Judas Priest and Iron Maiden. You know, a good debate between who is better, who you like more. A lot of similarities. I always preferred Ratt over Motley Crue as a whole band. Shout Out the Devil I like better than any Ratt album, but then any Ratt album I like better than any other Motley Crue album. So in terms of the catalog, I prefer Ratt way more than Motley Crue. I don't know why I'm talking about Motley Crue so much. So here it is here, Out of the Cellar, and this was, now if I can remember, this being the 40th anniversary this week, well, of the record coming out this week, the anniversary record coming out this week. There's a bonus song on the anniversary edition. I'll try to remember, God, I hope we're going to remember to talk about that, called Reach for the Sky, not to be confused with the album from 1989 called Reach for the Sky. So I'll try to remember that. Now I got this as part of, and I did this last summer, when I got this, the Ratt box set. This is the first five albums, Out of the Cellar, Invasion of Your Privacy, Dancing Undercover, Reach for the Sky, and Detonator. So that's Out of the Cellar came from this. This is not the 40th anniversary edition that I have. And I know this record, and there's the back of this box set. I know Out of the Cellar, stone cold. I'll try to I won't refrain from, but I'll try to rein myself in from reciting all the lyrics from every song, which I would love to do, and I know you would all love that too. But I'll try to not do that. I don't even need the track by track. I know it's hey, back here. It's Wanted Man. You can follow along. Wanted Man. You're in trouble. Round and round. In your direction. She wants money. Side 2. Maybe I should have done side 1 here. Side 2 here. Hello. Side 2 is lack of communication. Back for more. What comes after Back for More? Read the Shirt. Read the Shirt. It's The Morning After. And then I'm Insane. And then Scene of the Crime. Love this album. Can't get enough of it. So I'll talk about it now, track by track. So the first track is, and do I need this? No lyrics. I have to say that's one thing a small thing that could have made this album a little bit better. Ratt never, I think never at any point. Did they ever print lyrics in any of their albums? Definitely not in these first 5 classics. The self-titled 1999, maybe they put the lyrics in that one. They definitely didn't put them in Infestation. So I kind of a little bit struggled with Ratt lyrics, but this album, actually I would say all their albums, I know all of them. Maybe some, I had to kind of make my own words up for some things here and there just to fill in some gaps. But man, this album is just so good. So the first track is, as I said, Wanted Man, and it starts with possibly, this is a contender for my favorite, I don't even know, and you know what, this album I've talked about a lot of things before. Sometimes it's hard to pick a favorite or a least favorite. Sometimes it's because the album is bad. You think the whole album sucks, Peter Criss 1978, hello. And you can't pick a favorite because they all suck. You also can't pick one that sucks more than the other ones. And then you have a great album like, Shout at the Devil. I mentioned that earlier. Or, Master of Puppets, Rain and Blood. How do you pick a favorite when you love every song? And how do you pick a least favorite when there's no songs that you don't even dislike a little bit? So it's kind of like that with Out of the Cellar. But I'll start with Wanted Man, saying that it's possibly my favorite song on this album. And it's a contender for one of my favorite Ratt songs ever. Ratt was really cool. I maybe mentioned this when I talked about this box set. Ratt is one of the bands who, as a metal fan, it wasn't cool to like the singles. Nobody's going to say Enter Sandman is my favorite Metallica song, or Crazy Train is my favorite Ozzy song, or Rock and Roll All Night is my favorite Kiss song. You're a poser if you say any of those things. We Will Rock You, if you like Queen, you don't care about We Will Rock You. But really, Wanted Man, and not just Wanted Man, all the Ratt singles, maybe except one. There's one that I didn't really like too much, then and now. You can leave a guess in the comments section down below to see which one you think that is. But man, Wanted Man, what an amazing song. And it starts with kind of a weird, that kind of a loop. It sounds like something backwards. And before I get to Wanted Man, I should say something else in general about this record. I don't know if there's electronic drums on this record or not. I always loved the drums on this record, and Bobby Blotzer's drumming in general, and let's say all the musicians. No, hold on. Let's put, God, I'm getting so excited I'm all over the place. Let's put Wanted Man on hold for a minute and talk more a little bit about the record in general. This is a really, really, this is hair metal, cock rock, glam metal, whatever you want to call it, which is kind of poo-pooed, you know, by a lot of people. I would say this album, and really any Ratt album, is a real guitar album. Put it up there with, you know, the Pantera albums and, you know, whatever people consider to be great guitar albums and riffs. Ratt had amazing guitar on all the records, and I also love their drums, the Bobby Blotch's drumming. I love Stephen Pearcy's voice, loved everything. But getting back to the drums, I always thought the drums on this album were awesome, but that they did sound kind of strange. Or not strange, but there was something peculiar about them, but I loved them. They just sounded, I don't know, different. And then I saw, I don't know how long it was, 10 years ago maybe, somebody mentioned that it was electronic drums. I thought, is that right? Is that maybe what I've missed in all these years? And I guess that's true. Like there are some songs, and I don't know if I can remember which songs have the really obvious electronic drums, except for Wanted Man. The drums do sound, at least at some point, electronic. But oh my God, Wanted Man, and also Ratt had awesome videos. They had, you know, the video for Wanted Man. God, that video was played all the time back then. Round and Round too, and later, even though the song came out earlier, You Think You're Tough. But I couldn't get enough of that video and the song Wanted Man. Well, oh, dealer with snake eyes, you cross me, you realize you're hot leather, you cold steel. You make a move, I'll make you feel like a human target in my eyes. I said I wouldn't do this. I got you well in my sights, and by the road you will hang. It's your neck from this Ratt gang. Oh man, Wanted Man is just incredible. And then the dual guitar solo, which they also did in well, maybe every song, I don't remember, but I think it's, and you know this from watching the video, I think Warren DeMartini played the first solo, Robin Crosby played the second one. Oh man, Wanted Man is just incredible. Amazing, amazing Ratt song. One of the best ones ever. Next is You're in Trouble. Every song, I'm going to tell you right off the bat, every song is killer, phenomenal, terrific, fantastic, whatever you want to say. You're in Trouble has that great drum and bass groove to start with Fast as Lightning and the Gun. His shadows got you on the run. You're such a fighter, I said you're the one. And I will only tell you once, you're in trouble. Man, oh man, what a great song. And I apologize for my singing, but the more I talk about it, the more excited I'm getting. Oh, You're in Trouble. Amazing. And there's a little lick, going back, there's a lick at the end of Wanted Man. And if you know Ratt, and if you know these songs, you know what I'm talking about. That little lick, and then I think they repeat it almost note for note near the end of You're in Trouble. And that was really bad guitar. It sounded like a Nintendo 16-bit video game or something. But you know what I'm talking about. Next is Round and Round, and I don't know, what do you say about Round and Round? It's Ratt's signature song. I love it, I have to say. I definitely got bored of it back then in 1984, 85. That song was all over the radio. The video was on all the time, and I definitely got bored of it. Being away from the radio and being away from videos now for 20 years, I've talked about this with many songs. Number of the Beast for sure. Maybe Run to the Hills too. War Pigs. Some songs now that I got tired of. I love them now, and Round and Round is one. As far as I can remember, it was the first Ratt song that I ever heard, and of course it had the great video too. This one also had the great solo. Did they both play on this one, Warren DeMartini and Robin Crosby? I remember Warren DeMartini came crashing through, fell from the ceiling in the video, and he's playing on the dining room table in the video. But Round and Round is great. But I have a little issue with Round and Round. It's become, as I mentioned, their signature song, as far as I know. Now, I've never seen Ratt live beyond when I saw them that very first time, the first band I ever saw, April 25th, 1984 at Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto. They came back to Toronto in, I remember the date, it was September 25th, 1984. September 19th, maybe? Definitely sometime in September at Massey Hall, headlining. Santer's open, I remember that. And I wanted to go. I think I didn't have money. I didn't have the $12 for a ticket back then. I was 14 years old. And they never came back to Toronto ever again. I think later they did, maybe like in 2000, 99, 2000, 2001, when John Corabi was singing for them, or when I guess Jizzy Pearl was singing for them, and John Corabi was on the second guitar, and I really, really, really didn't care about Ratt at that point. And so I never saw them again. But as far as I know, they close all their shows, and I think Stephen Pearcy, when he plays solo now, they close their shows with Round and Round. And I think as much as I love Round and Round and what a great song it is, I don't feel like it's an appropriate song to end a show with. It just doesn't have that that pageantry. I don't know what the word is. You know how songs kind of should end a concert. I don't know, but I've never heard it live, so maybe they arrange it differently. But yeah, I always thought that Round and Round, it's a great song, but doesn't seem like a show closer to me. Anyway. Next is in Your Direction. Did I get it right? I think it is. It is In Your Direction, right? Yeah. How does this one go? The lyrics. Well, I saw the time closing. You said you leave the. Yeah, that's It's also got kind of that great Ratt groove. Ratt songs are just such a. They all have that same kind of, not same in a bad way, but they're so easily identifiable as Ratt. And how's In Your Direction? Well, I saw the time closing in. You said you're leaving me. Cast in your direction. You said it's right to believe. Well, months and days you slowly passed. I'm not waiting for you. You spin me around in your direction. Hey, you turn me your way in your direction. Yeah, man, In Your Direction, great song. Big surprise. Next, the last song on side one is She Wants Money. Very fast. There are, I guess, two real kind of fast up-tempo ones. This is one of them, She Wants Money. Kind of I guess it's about a prostitute, a lady of the night, a hooker, a hooah, something like that. I told her I don't have no cash. She looked at me and started to laugh. I want to know how far she goes. If you want to play, you got to pay. She wants money. Quick change. Love She Wants Money. Next, side two. The first song on side two is Lack of Communication. This is also contender for my favorite song. This one or Wanted Man. I have a strong attachment to lack of communication. That was the second Ratt song I ever heard, not including seeing them live. God, I've said this a million times. Back then in 83, I guess I started doing it. 83, 84, 85, and beyond through 88 or 89. I used to tape a lot of stuff on the radio when there used to be these Friday and Saturday night metal shows. And I remember it was probably in the spring or summer of 84. On one of them, they played Lack of Communication. I taped it and listened to that song again and again and again. And that's a real, man, that's heavy metal, I think, that riff. Love Lack of Communication. Lack of communication. Back off. Well, back off. So I have a strong attachment to that one. I thought that was a real heavy metal song. Still love it. And there's a song on Infestation. Maybe I'll talk about that at some point. That might be, 6 months or a year from now. I don't know. There's a song called Lost Weekend that is a total, I would say it's even a nod to Lack of Communication. So if you like Out of the Cellar and you never heard Infestation, go listen to Lost Weekend, and it really, really, really summons the vibe and the sound and the spirit and the style and the greatness of Lack of Communication. Back off! Well, back off! Next is Back for More. Not a ballad. Don't let the acoustic guitar fool you. This is not a ballad. This was another video. I don't remember hearing this on the radio too much, but that video was constantly on. Was it Back for More that Tommy Lee and Nikki Sixx were in, or was that was You Think You're Tough? But the video for Back for More was cool too. And it is a rock song. You turn him away, you tell him you're mine. Now, is this, as I said, I don't know the lyrics. I've always thought, does he say whirligig? You turn him away, you tell him you're mine. Where is it? You're making believe you're a whirligig. I swear the Stephen Pearcy is singing, You make, hold on, let me get this right. You turn them away, you tell them you're mine, you make them believe you're society's child, you give them a cold look, get into style. I'm blowing it. But I swear in that song somewhere, he says whirligig. Am I right or am I making things up? Which would be a pretty, to shoehorn a word like whirligig into an album or into a song is pretty cool. Like Motorhead doing parallelogram in the song Motorhead. How does parallelogram fit into Motorhead? Wrong side, sunrise, wrong side of another day, sky high and 6,000 miles away. Don't know how long I've been awake, wound up in an amazing state, can't get enough. Anyone who righteous stuff goes up like President Christmas, Motorhead, remember me? Brained out, total amnesia, get some mental anesthesia. I can't remember, but Motorhead, let me shoehorns parallelogram into the song Motorhead, and somehow Ratt has made me have a craving to go listen to Motorhead. Anyway, back for more, love it. Next is The Morning After. I think this is also this sounds almost like a Maiden riff. It's kind of like that gallopy. It's a real, I'd say, what song am I talking about? Oh, The Morning After. It's a real heavy metal song. It's going to be right out of the night, and out of the night, right out of the light. Can't you see? I'll leave the morning after to say bye-bye. Love it. Next is I'm Insane. This is like She Wants Money. It's a very, very fast song. I'm off my rocker. I fell out of my tree. I've been standing on shaky ground and there's no helping me. I can't remember your number. I can't remember my name. I can't remember all the trouble I'm in. Child, well, I'm insane. I'm insane. You lock me up in a padded room. You chain me to the floor. Well, I'm headed for lobotomy. And I'm begging them for more. I'm off my rocker. I fell out of my tree. Love I'm Insane. And then the last song is Scene of the Crime. This is a song that years and years after this came out, I feel like somebody told me. I didn't realize this on my own. I feel like it was my friend Pete who pointed it out. And it was years and years later. Guns N' Roses, that band? They have a song called Sweet Child of Mine on Appetite for Destruction. And maybe this was in the early, mid-90s. Somebody told me, I think it was my friend Pete, he said, and he was as big a Ratt fan, or maybe bigger than I was. He or somebody pointed out to me that Scene of the Crime, the opening riff, is very reminiscent, or I should say that Sweet Child of Mine is reminiscent of the opening riff of Scene of the Crime. And I thought, shit, that's right. I never noticed that in all these years that at that point that Out of the Cellar had been out and Appetite for an Onion had been out. I never noticed it myself, but when somebody brought it to my attention, I don't know how I missed it. But Scene of the Crime is maybe the third. I don't have an official ranking of the, in order of the 10 favorite songs, but Scene of the Crime could possibly, I'm pretty sure Wanted Men and Lack of Communication, Back Off are the first two, and maybe Scene of the Crime might be third. Love that song. I Want to Rock, but you had to roll. I came by your house, but you weren't at home. Well, I knocked on your door. I hear you beg for more. You broke the law, you see, and that's a felony. I think you've been caught. You've been caught at the scene of the crime. Love it. And I'm racing and racing and racing. All of a sudden, the album is over, and I want more. Did I express how much I love Out of the Cellar by Ratt? It's a classic, man. And this album was very, very huge. It was massively successful at the time. And then Invasion of Your Privacy, I guess, went on also to be, I guess, similar to Out of the Cellar. And look at that, man. They had everything, man. Ratt had, and Motley Crue too. Motley Crue and Ratt both had the looks. They had the songs for sure. The music was amazing. This is Tawny Katane on the front. Anything else on here I should that's noteworthy? No, I think that's all. Made in Turkey. This was made in Turkey. This reissue that was in the box set from last year was made in Turkey. Kind of strange. Doesn't say anything about Bobby Blotzer playing. It just says Bobby Blotzer plays Ludwig drums and pasty. I think that's how you said pasty cymbals. Doesn't say about electronic drums. But anyway, oh my God, Out of the Cellar is just such an incredible album. Huge in my life. One of the biggest ones ever. And I just love it so much. And oh my God, it's Ratt Out of the Cellar. No, wait, I forgot. For the first time ever I'm doing this. I'm doing a coda or an epilogue or an addendum or something like that. I forgot. I stopped recording. I turned the camera off. I started to get ready. I'm going out for lunch for my dinner, my birthday lunch. And then I remembered that I forgot to talk about Reach for the Sky, the bonus track, which is on the 40th anniversary edition, which was not the one that I'm talking about. And I already put the record away. I don't need the record. So this for the 40th anniversary, I think they announced in the summer, Piercy did, that there was going to be this 40th anniversary version coming out on CD and vinyl. And the CD had it as a bonus track. The bonus track is called Reach for the Sky. Not to be confused with the Ratt Ratt album from 1989, also called Reach for the Sky. And on the record, it wasn't a bonus track on the actual record, but it was included if you buy the record version of it, as I said, which came out this week. Excuse me. If you buy the 40th anniversary record, it comes with a 7-inch single of Reach for the Sky, which has pretty cool artwork on its own. It's just one song. I don't know if it's both songs on the same side, but the anniversary edition of the record, I think it's red or some kind of colored vinyl, and so the single of Reach for the Sky. Now, when they announced that, to be honest, I thought, oh, cool, but I didn't really have high hopes. I just thought it would be a throwaway track. I thought it might even be a demo or kind of an unfinished, song, or maybe that they had pieced together from, I don't know, you know how bands sometimes do that. And, I didn't really have high hopes, or I thought, if nothing else, it would just be not a good song because they didn't put on the record. And so they released that, I guess it was about a month ago, maybe around late September, early October. Oh my God, Reach for the Sky, the bonus track. I love it. I can't believe how good it is. And it really is. It easily would have fit right in place with Out of the Cellar, both in terms of the tone, the style, the vocals. It sounds like it was recorded during the Out of the Cellar album, which it was. I have no idea. The only reason why I think maybe this is just speculation on my part, why it wasn't included. I noticed kind of interesting. There's a writing credit for Mark. I never know how to say this guy's name. Mark Torian, the Bullet Boys singer. He was in Ratt for a time before they were really Ratt. I guess when they were Mickey Ratt. And I don't know if there was some kind of strife or if they weren't going to credit Mark or something. I don't know. But I'm just speculating. Or maybe he said, if you put it out, give me a credit. I don't know, but oh my God, the song is incredible. It really, if it had been on Out of the Cellar and I'd been listening to it, I can't really talk about if it's my favorite song or my least favorite after only hearing it for a couple of weeks or a month compared to listening to the rest of the album for 40 years. But I feel like if Reach for the Sky, the song, had been on Out of the Cellar originally, it would have been, I would have liked it equally as I did In Your Direction, She Wants Money, and You're in Trouble, and I'm Insane, and all the other, Lack of Communication, all the other songs. Amazing song. I really like it a lot. And when it came out, I saw it on YouTube, and I listened to it on YouTube. And I think everybody likes to, try to find some common ground for something. I saw people saying it sounds like Iron Maiden, and I know I said I thought that The Morning After sounds like Iron Maiden. Some people said Thin Lizzy. I didn't get any of those. To me, it just sounds like a Ratt song. It sounds like a Ratt song from Out of the Cellar, which is what it was, or was supposed to be, and what it is now. And I guess it's kind of cool to say when there's like an unearthed gem, the cool thing is to say, oh, wait, that's my favorite song on the album. Now, I wouldn't go that far because, as I said, I've only been listening to it for about a month or a few weeks, and I can't put it into the context of the record. But man, it's a great song. I love Reach for the Sky, and I've listened to it quite a lot already, and hopefully, and I guess I'll be listening to a lot more, so I can, put it in the context of the album. So that's it. So that was my little extra tag on Ratt Out of the Cellar. There it is. I have to wrap it up again. I don't have the album to show, so I'll just go like this. Ratt, Reach for the Sky, song, not album, Out of the Cellar, 40th anniversary. There you go. Yes.